Snow White, everybody. The first trailer, the official trailer finally dropped. It's coming out in March. So they've been waiting a long time for them to drop this trailer because, again, this was like a $209 million movie right now based on the 1937 animated feature. It wasn't supposed to be that much money, but they did massive reshoots because, again, they ever call it Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. They're trying to go away from that. I know Peter Dinklage fought them about this, too. They're going back and forth saying it's going against their community. There's other people saying you're taking away jobs by not doing that. There's been this big battle between this community about like, what do we say, Seven Dwarfs or not? And that's been a huge battle. And when you watch the actual early images that came out, they were not all like dwarfs. So it was like a whole thing wasn't like supposed to be matching that way based off the original content. And again, that was what caused some uproar. So they went back to some massive reshoots. So the trailer dropped right now. Will they actually match our original fairy tale story or will it not? And people have an uproar about it overall. Is Grumpy, Sneezy, Dopey, Sleepy, Happy, Bashful, and Doc still there? That's the question.
Wow.
This is dropping on March 21st.
Nice work, Brian. I was 07, my bro.
Thank you.
I couldn't have done that.
The SAG strike happened.
Sleepy, Happy, Grumpy, Dopey, Sneezy, Bashful, Doc. You couldn't have done that one, Trevor.
I don't think so. No.
I believe you could have. I believe you totally could have. But Snow White just found out that the dwarves cheated on her, and she's very frustrated. And we're gonna watch this trailer and talk about. So, is this worth? I mean, she's gonna fuck him. Is this worth $209 million? Let's watch the trailer.
This was my father's
I haven't
kingdom.
seen this yet.
A place of fairness. But the queen.
So it's like Silo or
changed
Fallout.
Everything.
Gal Gadot.
Take him away.
Pit
Your
deep
Majesty.
beneath the earth.
What did you say?
The people need some kindness.
You know, I really don't remember you being this
I mean, the sets and the costumes are great.
opinionated.
Great.
Magic mirror on the wall.
Mirror on the wall.
Who is the fairest of them all?
Famed is thy beauty, Majesty.
Is that you, Mike?
The fairest of them all? Yes, that is me, Brian.
I look at you, and I just
It's the
want to
voice.
be
I understood.
the fairest of them all.
Is that Gal Gadot? Who is this?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, so she's been Wonder Lady now. She's got to be evil.
She'd be evil to me all night.
My parents always said this forest was a magical place.
I'm sure you're alone in that sentiment, Brian.
100%.
Turtles? We got turtles in this movie?
Oh yeah, we got turtles.
Hello? Is there anybody here?
All these animals like cruise control.
The singing is gonna start. The chinchillas, Brian. The badgers, the beavers.
Okay, so
Why do they look like that? Now that he's supposed to be live action, why does it look like the Polar Express?
they were all live action originally.
You'll be safe from the Queen here.
The queen stole everything from all of us. I'm gonna need your help.
This movie kind of looks crazy.
It's time to restore our kingdom.
Waiting on a wish, holding out for someday, hoping somehow, some way, there comes a miracle.
Find Snow White.
I close my eyes and see the girl I meant to be.
This is our kingdom, and now we're here to take it back.
You were saying.
I'm sorry, my
Is this
dear.
the Snow White story? Is that what that?
Did I
The
frighten
Brothers
you?
Grimm
Is that Gal
have?
Gadot? All right.
Away. They're vilifying old ladies with apples. This is problematic.
Wow.
Honestly, that looks better than I thought it was gonna look. You know, right? But again, I know Trevor said during the trailer, it's like when you saw the images of like Snow White with the dwarves before, they were like 6 foot tall and like somebody was like 5'10" and someone was like 5 foot. It was like all walks of life. It looked like they just like CG'd them all in this now. This is they completely changed them out and made them all CG to make them more like, original movie accurate, which maybe will be good or better for people, because I think that overall that people might be more excited to be closer to that original script, the original content. This actually looked pretty great. Gal Gadot was great. I mean, I like Rachel Zegler. She does make good. Man, GR, calm down. Hold your horses, GR. Hold your horses. I know. It's only hump day. It's hump day. It's fine, GR. Round of applause for GR. It's hump day. He can use that in hump day. Actually, I think this might do all right. It actually looks more accurate than I thought it was going to be. I don't know. Trevor's shaking his head. Trevor, what do you think? Do you think this is going to be a big big old bomb, or do you think that Disney has a a big old hit?
I mean, like, all of the Disney live action remakes have shown me that I have no idea what people want, actually. So I don't know. I don't feel like this is going to be good in any way. I think that the CGI looks like shit. I think the dwarves look awful. I think, like, I know that the anti-woke crowd is real upset that Snow White isn't a white actress, and the woke crowd is upset because Gal Gadot is in it. So nobody wants this. Like, essentially nobody is going to go see this.
Bigots of all sorts will not be able to join together to watch this movie.
Yeah,
God,
right.
I'm gonna go by myself.
Oh my God, I don't know. Like, politically, this is a nightmare, and like as a movie, this is also a nightmare. Because I think that CGI looks awful. I don't know. I don't know who any of the live-action Disney remakes are for, frankly. I think they've just all, like, we talked about cynical cash grabs with that lawsuit earlier. I feel like the Disney live-action movies are worse cynical cash grabs than any lawsuit ever would be. And I don't know. I haven't watched this trailer. I think this looks terrible in every fucking way. I'm sorry. These hot takes brought to you by my friend Captain Morgan. I'm sorry.
Yes, got a little Captain in you. No, I get that though, Trevor, because again, I know a lot of people have been fighting Disney over a lot of these live action ones. We have Mufasa coming out next month. Lion King didn't do as well as they expected. Little Mermaid did good, but it did not do as well as they expected to blow up. It still did really actually better than it was actually really better than I thought. And then, you know, some of these movies they change a lot of the lore, they change a lot of stuff. People have backlash from that. Like Little Mermaid had a lot of backlash, even though I think that what they did with it was pretty great, except the Prince. The fucking Prince song they added was a bullshit. And also, Aquafina's fucking rap. I'm sorry. We appreciate rappers tonight, but fucking Aquafina's rapping, no. Lin-Manuel, I love you. Lin-Manuel, I love you. But, you know, scuttlebutt, nobody needs a scuttlebutt. Nobody needs that. You know, that alone can tell you. But I think that they are battling this stuff, Trevor. Battling it.
See the Little Mermaid remake. I did see the quote live action Lion King, and from what I heard, I think they made the same mistake they did with Little Mermaid as they did with live action, which is just like they go for like these photorealistic animals, but like they have no fucking expressions. Like they're just like complete like blank slates, like whatever, like. Who wants this? Like, who wants your animals to like look photorealistic but like convey no feeling, no emotion? Like, why do you go to movies if you don't want to feel emotions and like see like actors and like,
that's why I go to movies, Trevor, is because I'm sick of feeling emotions in my life, and I want to go sit in air conditioning for 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Mystery Science Theater 3000 and wants to turn the robots off. I don't know.
There was somebody that took like somebody used different animation style. Oh yeah, Kruse Court. There's some animation style over the last Lion King where they changed like Mufasa, they changed Simba to look more like the actual animated cartoon. It was actually pretty freaking awesome. If you saw it, it looked great. I'm like, you should have done this. You should have done this.
Give it some flavor.
But, like, I mean, if we're going to go back to Lion King, my opinion on it is if you wanted a live-action Lion King, they should have done an adaptation of the stage show, complete with actors in costumes. Like, it would have been good. It would have been great.
It would have been good, but would like a gazillion people have watched it? It's a question.
Experience, but I think we all know that not what Disney is after. Like, Disney is not looking for like unique or like artistic. They're looking for safe and solid. So
you're looking for $1 billion. They're looking for Trevor. Looking for $1 billion.
That's how
the magic number
works.
We want $1 billion. And honestly, like based off everything I've heard about on set, this movie was pushed multiple times. It's supposed to come out last March. And before that, it was like supposed to come before that too. They blame the strikes, they blame everything else, but I know there was massive reshoots, which always causes problems in this town. More and more money put into this. Look at that Brave New World World Marvel movie. They put an extra $100 million in that. It's like a $325 million movie now. Can that make its money back? I don't think so.
That is too much money. Holy shit. Like I yearn for the days of like mid-budget films. Like where are the $20 to $40 million movies?
So much. Gone.
But Carter, you see this, right? Let's go to Carter because they seem excited about this a little bit too. So Carter, you know they spent $209 million in that. It's a lot of money. A lot of money. And people might say, oh, you're wasting your money, Disney. You're spending too much on this. Let's release the movie. But do you think that maybe after watching this, because again, we had those released early photos where it was like they will never say Seven Dwarfs. It's a Snow White now, but the actual the 7 of them were a lot different in this initial shoot. And then the trailers are like pictures came out. People were frustrated and mad. You think what they did now with the CG and the changing, is that going to make people more happy to put those people to come to theaters and see this movie before like they would maybe like walked out before?
Yeah, it's just I'll leave it up for the individual to determine the side of what they think about this movie. I mean, I think that so far, observing everything I've heard, there's a lot of reasonable and logical arguments, and I do respect it. Personally, from what I've seen from the trailer you just showed us, Brian, I'm very optimistic for it, actually. I love the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. The fact that they're just calling it Snow White now, I understand that they're doing it because of the world we live in today. You know, there's this woke culture, which I respect. I may not agree with all the aspects of it, but I respect the point that the fact that it's out there, protected by the First Amendment and our laws. My whole focus is I keep the politics out of it and focus more on 100%. The of it, because I like the idea of, okay, are these actors and actresses going to do a good job? Are they going to tell this German folk tale, which Snow White is a German folk tale? Are they going to do this story any justice? Or is the acting good? Is the storyline consistent with the actual original story? It's not going to be the 1937 version of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Of course not. Times have changed. Society has changed. Culture has changed. But I know in some way, shape, or form that those who are taking place in this new updated version of Snow White, they'll do everything in their power to give this story justice in some way, shape, or form. I mean, that's what I think the vast majority of Snow White fans want to see. Or at the very least, they just want to be entertained by really good, movie cinema. So I'm thinking positively for for all Snow White fans, no matter how they voted in the last election. I can care less. I hope you who are fans of Disney or of Snow White, for that matter, enjoy this film. Go see it with your kids. Go enjoy it for yourself. You as an individual human being, go out and enjoy it if you choose to enjoy it. If you want to go see great film and great Disney classics like Snow White, go for it. Knock yourself out.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and we should be able to disconnect that too. People are trying to blend that stuff too much together and put politics and entertainment. But again, if you think back in the day, Carter, back in the day, it used to be like people would go to the theaters to get away from politics, during the world wars, you know what I mean? It was, again, one of those things that were very, very prominent and very important to people because, again, it was a distraction. It was it was like a way of getting away from the world for a second to just have fun and entertain yourself. And that's what Snow White was at that time. And I think that we have that blend into this a little bit. And that's why they changed what they were doing. But I think what they were doing again before was like trying to not tell the story. Just tell the story. We all know the story. You all know and love it, and I think maybe what they did now is they reverted back to going to the story now, and they're spending a little bit extra money for it. But I just worry, though, by doing that and not doing what we had, what we were expecting from the get-go, that they might lose money on this now. Because, again, you spend extra $100 million on this, on doing reshoots and shit, it's going to be harder to make that money back. It just is, Carter, right?
Yeah, well, absolutely. And observing the comments, I'm not really sure what Rachel Zegler did to stir a lot of emotions in people. So I know nothing about this Rachel person.
I was curious about that as well.
Yeah, what did she?
Because I haven't seen that either. I was curious what they were talking about.
Yeah, educate us in the chat if you can.
Yeah, tell us what you did, because I know there was a lot of controversy happening. I thought it was just about the Seven Dwarfs. I thought that's what it was, but if she did something too, and that's been happening. A lot of these young actors have been putting their foot in their mouth a lot. That's happened a lot, Carter. And I'm like, what are you doing right now? And I get like you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna be, look at what happened with this. Was it Acolyte on Disney Plus? Amandla came forward and she was like, I hate all these people. They're all haters in the chat. They're all racist. And she was like going after them. She had that whole rap song that came out. That's not going to help your career. And it's not going to help the freaking streaming numbers. It's just not going to do it. There comes to a point where you got to be like, hey guys, thank you for watching. If you hated it, that's okay. Hopefully do better next season and be good by the fans. You know, you can't attack the fans, you know, but people do that.
Well, Brian, that's the prerogative of somebody who is catering to the companies that are hiring them. Do we want them to cater to those? Which I understand that's what a job is. But also people have an idea of what their own personal artistic prerogative is. And some people feel that they owe that above, whatever the capitalistic concerns are.
But Mike, you're hired by a company. At the end of the day, that's what Disney looks at too. You're hired by this company, especially as an actor. This is a big conversation. It happens all the time.
It's an art, though, too. It's a massive conversation.
It's totally a fucking art. It's totally an art, but it's like, again, when you're hired by that company, you represent that company. And Disney is not the company you want to mess with. Again, we talk about Mickey Mouse on Monday.
If you want to continue to have a career, you don't want to screw them over. You want to show up. You want to show up and say your fucking lines. I mean, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You can have input and all that. That's 100% as an act. You should. You know, you're attached to that character. You believe in what you're doing. You're representing those lines in that page and bringing it forward in a very realistic form. And that's an art form. It is. But it's always show business. It is. And so you got to be careful of some of these things to do, because again, you're trying to branch out to a huge audience, Mike. You know, everyone has different walks of life, different interpretations for things.
That's what you're being paid for, is to try and appeal to make people understand what the artistic vision that you're trying to achieve in this particular project is. Like, that's one way to characterize what, an actor's job is, I would think.
Yeah. And a lot of actors are putting their foot in their face, or in their mouth, I said, as opposed to just realizing that, like, don't you want everybody to me personally, that's why I don't talk about politics in the show, because I'm like, to me personally, I'm like, we're just trying to entertain people. That's what this is. We're having a good time. We're having fun. You start talking about politics, all of a sudden you start segregating people, and you're fighting about things that have no reason to fight about. We're talking about Snow White, by the way, guys. Snow White, not cocaine. The fairy tale creature. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I don't know, Brian. The discussion about the way that people's bodies are portrayed on screen, is that who is made to be a character due to a physical thing that they didn't have a choice over. This is an important discussion, Brian. And I think that both Trevor and Carter really kind of had prerogatives that were respectful of the sensitivity of the topic, frankly.
Yeah, and it is very sensitive. Like, again, like I saw recently, I just put on, literally last night, I was going to sleep and I put on Aladdin, right, on Disney Plus.
Like, and you do every night, yeah.
Yeah, almost every night. But like, I put it on, and then for the very first time I saw on Disney Plus, and it said like, this whole caption comes up saying like, this movie was made at a time where some of the things are very sensitive to some people, and it might not be PC for these days. But we want to keep the integrity of the film, so we're playing the whole thing, giving this warning right now.
Well, there's stereotypes. It's playing into stereotypes from the jump. Like,
look at Robin Williams, the shit he was doing back in the day. You know what I mean? We laughed our asses off, but his shit was fucking ridiculous. You know, people are like, oh my god, what the fuck is he saying? You know what I mean? Which would be, interpreted probably horribly these days. You know, and that's where it comes down to this like fine line of all of that. And I saw Carter raising his hand. Carter, you had something to say too. I want to make sure I come back to you for a second here.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out, like, after what because I never ever heard of this actress, the woman who's playing Snow White. I heard that she was like in West Side Story, and then she had this thing.
Yes.
Like, she posted some things about the Israel-Palestine conflict. I can understand why that would ruffle a lot of feathers, especially on social media. Like I said, I can care less what side of the debate you're on as an individual human being. I just think that some people in the entertainment industry, when they bring politics into their art form, especially in this day, I will agree with what Howard Edward Hyde recently just said. I mean, he can pull up his comment pretty soon, but I will definitely agree with him what he's saying, because I feel like what that does, it creates a radical oversensitivity with the use of certain words that belong to certain concepts and what those words actually mean or represent. I, for one, believe that words should mean things, that we should not need to compromise what those meanings are in a free and civil society. So I think that Rachel is free to believe whatever she wants to believe. I'm not saying that she isn't, but I just think that it's very imperative that you have a responsibility ability as a celebrity or as an actress, somebody who's known in the industry, who's up there, to really understand that your words do carry weight, regardless of what side you're on politically or otherwise.
Thank you. That's a really important caveat to put on what you're saying, Carter, I think.
Yeah.
So, sorry. I'm without talking your ears off, gentlemen. Like I said, I think the most important thing that when you are a celebrity, your words have a lot of merit in this world for those who take you very seriously, and especially when you have such a platform. Everything you say and do has consequences, whether they're positive or negative. And
Thank you.
So I'm thinking positively for Rachel that she can step back, pause, reflect, and go, you know what? Maybe I could have said this and done this, if not differently and better, but still stand my ground as an individual human being with where I stand in the world and how I feel about the world. So that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. GR, get in there. You haven't said anything yet. GR, get in there. How do you feel about this, GR?
I'm just listening. The difference between today and, say, 50 years ago. When the war was going on, whether you back the communists or the Germans or whoever, if you were a Hollywood
that was happening.
Yeah, if you were a Hollywood actor, you shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Was that McCarthy?
The studios would flat out not let you work.
Yeah.
Put you on the blacklist.
Or they would actually submit you to the government too, GR.
100%. So many people's careers got shut down.
Out of it. The government was very careful back then. I mean,
right. But that was it. They were involved with the people in the entertainment industry too. People got shut down due to their beliefs. Like, there's no question about that.
Yeah, look at what happened in the 50s. With the Red Scare. But
yeah,
exactly.
The studio said, "We're going to do this to raise money." How many of the actors were out selling war bonds or whatever during the war? And idiots like this young woman takes her beliefs and goes on social media and blasts what she thinks is not right.
As is her right as an American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's her right.
Even the viewers in there, as you saw, I don't know if you read all the comments, they were ripping this young woman.
It's a right, but it comes down to, again, a business. It's always a business, and you have the right to feel how you feel, but that's the problem with what happens is, and I think that there can be some, you already have the reshoot stuff, GR, you have the drama. Do you think that watching this trailer, is this going to lose big money now, you think? You think this is going to actually make its money back by any way? Because, I know it looks, do you like the trailer?
290 million?
209, which is still a lot of money. It's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah,
but do you see
advertising? So 300.
Plus, that's easily 150 these days. You're talking about just to make your money back on top of everything else. Probably you need to break like 400 million, probably. Do you? But based on this trailer, though, GR, again, they did massive reshoots. They changed things. The drama's happening. Do you think that the changes they made could maybe help it?
No. This. I mean, it looks like a cute movie, even with the bad CGI.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, it's the young woman opened her mouth and put both feet in it.
We know what happens when you open your mouth and you shouldn't, GR. Sometimes you get into trouble when you open your mouth sometimes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm
looking for any excuse.
I'm sorry. I was waiting for it. I held on to it again. It's so good. It's so good.
We all get the mic and go that.
Oh boy, that's awesome.
You sound really good when you're talking close.
Yeah, you actually sound even better right there, GR.
Really
I like that up close and personal sound.
That's even your audio's even better right there. Wait till GR gets his arm in his like frothy fucking spit.
Yeah, I have it right up here like this.
Distractor.
Really talk dirty.
All right, Mike, you've been kind of weighing in, but not weighing in. Do you think that the Snow White trailer is good and can put get people to theaters again for Disney?
It's really interesting, Brian, because I love having the opportunity to discuss this. And also, it's kind of a question that I think I don't know if it should be siloed rather than like debated on the full public arena, because it seems to me that the full public arena is bringing in like, you know, you get the biases, you get the lowest common denominator situation, which, you know, there's nobody's trying to do that. We just as a species, we have our own personal biases that lean us in particular directions. So I don't know that that cruise control or just the media in general is the place to have these discussions. But then again, like, if you don't have them, you know, in a place that's immediately available to the public and where everybody can comment on it, then where should you have them? Like, I don't know. It's a really massive question in society to me, which the way that I tend to characterize it in my own head is like, okay, like if you have a big kids table, like how good does your behavior have to be so you can have a seat at the big kids table, and we listen to you because we know you're not Joe Rogan blasting megaphone like anybody's voice out to everybody, because that's damaging to our society as a whole. I don't know if I'm really like going way off, or this is too big of it's not too big of a topic for cruise control. We talk about this topic every week, so
yep.
So, hooray for alcohol. I'm with Snow White on that
one. That will help us all, Mike. That will help us all.
Yeah, I guess.
Agreeing with the alcohol.
Help warm us up when we're under the bridge.
But I agree with you, Mike. I mean, we talk about serious shit all the time, too. And sometimes a conversation as easy as Snow White becomes this crazy conversation, Carter. I see it, too.
I hate to interrupt you, Brian, but I do think that everybody here that I'm here with tonight had kind of really nuanced thoughts on this that they shared, like, and it really makes me feel honored to be amongst this little community and with everybody on our chat too, like open-minded and sharing, like nobody's getting we're not getting offended together. Like we need to have an environment where we can share differing opinions. I heard Division say it a couple of times, but it would be incredible if we can have those spaces. But I don't know if they can exist within, you know, the capitalism. They're always trying to cater to the biggest audience and shutting down the other part. So it's a fucking complicated thing, man.
It's definitely complicated. It's super.
Just said, Mike.
It's a lot.
Snow White a tax write-off.
I've got more to say. I Googled some things while I was off screen too. So if
get in there, Trevor.
Do it.
If we want to keep wading into this difficult topic and just making everybody angry, because that's where we're going.
Hey, we're at 2 hours and 10 minutes. We can keep going.
It's destroying our life, Snow White.
Let it destroy our life. You know, we might as well have our lives destroyed at this point. So yeah, I was.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa.
What was that? I didn't even hear that.
I said, you are tearing me apart, Lisa.
Just throw the spoon.
So, like, I was curious. So, like, while I was off screen, I Googled, like, what exactly Rachel Zegler had said about everything about the issues. And it's like, it seems to me like she didn't say anything more incendiary than what Gal Gadot said, except that they're on opposite sides, is the thing. Like, Gal Gadot has also been very vocal in her support for Israel. She's even screened pro-Israel videos at her house and like gone around promoting pro-Israel content since the war began. So it's like, why, like, if people are angry at Rachel Zegler for expressing a political opinion but not angry at Gal Gadot, I feel like you're showing that you've chosen a side. It's not that you're angry that there was political content, you're angry that somebody had a different opinion than you. So for the record, I'm going to side with Rachel on this one. Sorry.
Yeah, that happens though. It's gonna, again, because like people don't want politics with their entertainment. It's like, don't slather that in with that. You know, that's the biggest thing. They just want to be like,
right.
And there's still a stigmata, Trevor. They're like, I hate to say it, but they'll say dance, 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 sing, dance, sing.
Oh, don't
do anything else besides that. You know what I mean?
100% correct. Like for an actor, the safest route is always just to not express an opinion, no matter like which side you're on. For sure.
Your lip.
But
you make more in the back end too. I'm just saying.
It's like, I feel like if Rachel Zegler is going to catch heat for this, then Gal Gadot ought to catch just as much heat. Anyway, in summary, the dwarves look like shit. So that's still not going to work.
Back to the important things. Yeah.
Back to the important thing. The dwarves look like shit.
They look like very big CG characters, but again, they probably just eliminated all those actors and used their voiceover probably and just made them all CG because of all the drama that happened. And that happens all the time. And that's what costs so much more money because they probably just paid to, like, you know, do some plate shots and then throw the CG actors in there. That's probably what they did.
You don't think they were in there with the like with the ping pong balls taped to them? It's a whole different conversation, but I'm really interested in it.
I feel like not. I feel like they probably took them out. And they probably just put, because again, with the ping pong thing, it's like height things still happen. So a plate shot's better, a steel plate shot, and you just put them in later. I mean, it's easier in post that way. It just is. If the height differences is weird, you know what I mean? That's the problem. So I bet they just did a bunch of plate shots, and then they had to pay a post house to actually put them in there, and they use the same voiceover and they mimic their lips off of that, you know, to make the characters. That's what it looks like to me.
Sounds a lot easier way to be involved with a movie.
Well, yeah, for the actors, it's super simple.
That's what I'm saying.
Sometimes you go into a booth and they like try to match it up and you watch it. I mean, I don't know. Carter's got something else to say, I can tell. Carter, what you got there, man?
Oh, well, little disclaimer. I mean, I'm nobody's thought leader, and I'm not insinuating none. Because, like I said, I mean, I'm my thought leader. Freedom. I'm all for personal freedom. You know, as long as you're not hurting anybody or stealing anybody's property. I mean, I have no problem with you. My thing here is that, like, I think at the end of the day, I think the most important thing is to let entertainment be entertainment. And I think that the great thing about Snow White, the story itself, is a phenomenal German folktale, and it's been beloved for decades and decades. And I think that when we get down to the root of Snow White, for example, I think that the most important thing that we can take away from this is, hey, it's a really intriguing, very cute and charming story for those who are interested in that kind of story and that kind of entertainment. So my hope and my prayer for this production, the new 2025 version of Snow White, is that, you know, they do the story justice. And I, for one, want to see this film on the basis of a piqued curiosity, outside of the hoopla, outside of the drama of it all, outside of the politics of it. I'm just optimistic to see what the entertainment value is of it. That's the way I felt when I went to go see the Little Mermaid. I mean, I thought that I hope I'm saying her name correctly. Halle Berry, whatever her name was, first name.
Berry, yes.
Yeah, I thought she was a fantastic Ariel. I could care less if she's black. I thought she did a great job. Yeah. I thought she was phenomenal. She has a great singing voice. That girl knows how to sing. Holy crap.
She can sing, yeah.
Yeah,
fuck the prince. She did a great job.
And yeah, and hey, hey, Ariel, hey, Miss Bailey or Barry. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. If you're single, please let me know.
Yeah, Nillihc Master is looking for a little tail. Looking for a little tail. Looking for a little tail. That's what he is. He'll make you his princess.
Right now, I'm going to have to write out a profile. I got to get it out.
That movie was, I think the movie did a great job. I would say, again, I think they added songs. Didn't need to be added, but that's what happens. They make a live action version. They add stuff. It happens. Even this, there's like a musical number. Like, there's no songs in this, but it's like going to be a musical, apparently. Or there at least one musical number's in there. But you know what? I believe in Disney still. I know a lot of people are losing faith in Disney, and I really hope that we can still bring the magical castle and all the vibes of like humanity and caring and loving and wanting to be together and find a way to bring that fairy tale fucking story together one more time.
And the beavers and the badgers and the mailman,
they all come together
in the backyard.
Fantastical world that can only be found in a Disney fairy tale. And if that happens on the big screen, I'm there to watch it.
Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Because the Pepestar needs more snickety snacks. Because I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.